Is Combat Talk. I'm your host, Sophia. Now, a little synopsis of the show today. We're going to go over the card tomorrow, UFC 311, and we're also going to go over, there's a new fight league called the GFL. We're going to figure out what it's about. We're going to talk about it. We're going to argue, maybe, with myself, of course. Now, mind you, all the opinions are welcomed. I don't care. Please give it to me. We need these opinions. And it's also these predictions. You don't have to believe them. You don't have to agree with them. It's just mine. I mean, it's my show. I'm going to have my predictions. So we're going to talk about everything in the MMA community. And we have some breaking news. So we're going to cut to commercial break and tune back in.
Are you ready to turn your creativity into a career? Welcome to the radio and TV program, a cornerstone of career and technical education. Here you'll dive into the world of media production, learning skills that prepare you for success in the entertainment and communication industries. From editing software to professional-grade cameras, we've got you covered with hands-on training and real-world experience. As part of this program, you'll gain access to an Adobe license, unlocking industry-standard editing tools like Premiere Pro. These tools aren't just for class, they're your gateway to professional content creation. We also go live, whether it's broadcasting sports, producing live radio shows, or creating short films. You'll learn every aspect of live production, from composing shots to setting up equipment. We'll teach you everything that goes into a seamless broadcast. Are you ready to turn your creativity into a career? Welcome to the radio and TV program, a cornerstone of career and technical education. Here you'll dive into the world of media production, learning skills that
All you know that listened before, I love my female fighters because I am in this sport. And we want to give, the respect and the shout out to these women. So one of the first fights on the early prelims is Carol Rosa versus Aylin Perez. If I screw that up, I'm very sorry. But my bad. It's bantamweight, and Carol Rosa is a Muay Thai-based fighter, a very reactive fighter, but also able to capitalize on certain strikes and shoot for the takedown, versus Aylin Perez, who's Kung Fu-based, which I think is really funny. Likes to throw a lot of kicks and not a lot of defense. Now, the only issue with not having defense is you're going to get beat up a lot, and you're not going to be able to sustain all of it, all the power, and last very long. So you don't want to be tired. You want to keep going, keep fighting, and be able to win that fight. My prediction's Carol Rosa, just because she's very well-rounded, but she's also one of those fighters that can react, but also capitalize on everything that's thrown her way. But on to our next fight for a little bit of a prelim. We got some prelim fights to talk about, guys. So, Payne Talbot versus Rayoni Parcellos. This is a bantamweight fight. Well, we know Payne as a skateboarder, and we know him as a fighter. He is very good. We don't know what we're going to see this weekend. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Well, with Payne, he's MMA based. He's able to land power shots. His hooks and his overhands will be needed in this fight to sustain all the strikes that come his way, because Rioni is a striker, but he times a lot of his punches and does not kick defense. So, Rioni Barcelos, you need some help, buddy, because where is your kick defense? Why are you timing all your punches? Timing all your punches can be so good to a certain extent. Doesn't do you that well. But, hey, if he can get away with it, fine. But I'm going Payne on this one. Payne, I'm rooting for you, man. But we also got breaking news. Johnny Walker's fight got canceled. Now, Johnny got hurt, but thanks a lot, Johnny. You disappointed all of us. On to our next fight. Kevin Holland versus Renier de Raider. Maybe I'm saying that right, maybe I'm not. Oh well. It's a middleweight fight. We got Kevin Holland as a Kung Fu specialist. He's also getting his Jiu-Jitsu game up, and he's also getting his wrestling game up. Renier is Jiu-Jitsu based. He's able to control on the ground, very good takedowns. Now, for my people that don't know who Renier is, he was in another organization called One Championship and was the champion for a little bit and had 3 different titles. Now, it's going to be a little bit of trouble for Kevin, but for striking-wise, but I think on the ground, Kevin's got it. But I'm picking Kevin because for all my fight fans that watch UFC Embedded, that's a little bit of the research that comes into it, but not all of it. So don't be thinking I get all my research from UFC Embedded, because that's not true. But Holland is getting a lot better with his ground game and should be very proud of that. So, but now on to our next fight. So, I'm not really sure what's happening with this fight because we have some breaking news in a minute to understand what's going on. So, no, Beneil Darwish was supposed to fight Renato Marciano, and that's not going to happen because about 12, 13 minutes ago, we just found out, guys, incoming news, Islam Makhachev is going to fight Renato Marciano because Arman decided to have an injury a day before the fight. So, Arman, thanks a lot because, boo, go away, no one likes you. You suck. Anyways, now what's going to happen with Beneil, we can only hope that he gets a replacement fighter, but Beneil, he's been fighting for the UFC for a while. He's a striker. He's got a lot of escapes on the ground from different positions and difficult positions. And he likes to throw overhand, so hopefully he can land a power shot on someone. And maybe he'll fight a newer fighter, maybe he won't. Hey, that's not my call. I'm not the decision maker. But on to the next fight, we have Yuri versus Jamal Hill at light heavyweight. And we got Yuri with a striker base, uses elbows, able to control the fight standing, throws overhands. Then we got Jamal Hill's, he's stupid, but he's just really dumb. MMA base, heavy power shots. Jabs are his most powerful shots. Why? I don't know. Ask Jamal. Able to use his knees to his advantage. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of UFC 311 and get into some other news. So come back and stay tuned. Oh, sorry guys about that. We're not going to commercial break. We actually got a shocking thing going on. We're going to throw it to the next song, So What by Jaden. This is Combat Talk. Now, a little recap. We did go over the majority of the fights and made some predictions. But now to finish out the card, we have our co-main event, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Merab. It is going to be a championship fight, but we also got a lot of wrestling in this fight. We got some striking going on too. But Umar, he's a free agent, but he was also signed a long time ago to Bellator and then made his debut in UFC. He's been doing well. Merab, I don't know if he's going to be able to take the striking because if you are a fight fan and you watch the behind the scenes, Umar is a part of Khabib's team. And those guys barely lose. So I'm very worried for Merab because Merab's going to take a lot of punishment. But not my fight. Nah, I'm not fighting. So, take the punishment, man. Get over it. So, on to our main event. Now, if you were listening before, we have breaking news. Islam Makhachev is now fighting Mosiano, not Arman. Arman got an injury. I don't know what the injury was. We just found out. And now with this fight, I'm thinking Islam's going to take it in the bag because with his wrestling and his striking, he's able to rely on that and get away with it. Mosiano, I don't think he can take it. I just think he's a little bit weaker than Islam just because I don't think he's had as serious fights as Islam has, and I just don't think he's going to do well. So, sorry, Mosiano. I don't care. You're going to get your butt whooped. So, on to our next topic. Now, there is a new show that came out from Vice News called Dark Side of the Cage. Now, the show is basically about the behind the scenes that people don't see in fighting. The first episode was about Kimbo Slice and how he got into fighting and, the things that he went through and were a part of his life and a part of his career. He had serious fame but had serious issues, and I don't think this is true, but it's a theory that he didn't tell people he had a heart condition, but he knew about it and refused to tell people, so I think there's a little bit of controversy there. But on to the next episode of this show it was Diego Sanchez actually past Wednesday, and we saw a lot of disturbing things, and we saw that he was manipulated in a way. And it just sucks because a person like Diego Sanchez that was so good, it just doesn't add up why this happened or why he was able to be manipulated in a way to that certain extent. In the episode, we see that when he was in a meeting to talk to the press about his one fight, this guy, Fabia, if we ever come across him, please just don't talk to him. He's a manipulator. He's just someone that you don't want to talk to. He's a butt. We don't like him. And with that, it just sucks because we get a lot of potential in these fighters, and then we see nothing because of the way they're manipulated or the way they get it used and taken advantage of because, you might meet people that use you for your money or fame because of they're a fighter and, oh, look at them, they have money, and, oh, they'll just pay for everything, and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, we're not, it's 2025, guys, grow up. Like, come on. But also, can we talk about Bellator's gone? Now, a lot of people are like, Sophia, come on, they're with the PFL, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, Bellator's, dead. And now it's just PFL. So, Bellator, rest in peace. You were a second name organization, and barely anybody cared about you. But, for the female fighters that are in that organization, dearly appreciated. And the other male fighters, you were just looking for a comeback. Nobody cares. So, on to our next song, and I hope you guys are going to love this. It's one of my favorites. It is Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. Combat Talk. I'm your host, Sophia, as you guys all know. Now, we talked about UFC 311, we talked about some new MMA shows, we talked about some breaking news on the fights. But however, we got a new MMA league to talk about. It is called the GFL, Global Fight League. We have the owners here listed, but it is Darren Owen, who will be serving as the league's acting commissioner, Arlen Parimi, who will serve as the league's chief operating officer, and Scott Parker, who will serve as the chief marketing officer. The GFL is mainly about giving back to the fighters that didn't get paid enough, looking for a comeback, or looking for a new start, or for some fighters that have amateur fights but need that push to either get to the UFC or get to a higher organization. But we also just found out today that Tony Ferguson is in talk to go to the GFL. What? No. Why? Tony Ferguson, stop fighting. You have enough concussion. It's enough brain trauma, dude. You will end up with CTE. Stop. Don't die. We need you to live. Well, yeah. With that being said, let's talk about what the GFL is giving to these fighters. The GFL is giving 50% of what they make off the pay-per-view to the fighters, so they're able to make that income but also pay everybody on their team equally. Because if you see what happens with a lot of the pay that they get from different organizations like the UFC, excuse me guys, what happens is they're not able to pay their team, and they can't pay their bills, and they can't do this. Now, Dana, that's your responsibility. What are we doing here, buddy? But the GFL, will it last? Who knows? But I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of household names to this organization. We have Kevin Lee. We have maybe Tony Ferguson, maybe not. We'll see. Fabricio Verdum, Tyrone Woodley, Paige Van Zandt. We have Junior Dos Santos. We have all these fighters. But the one thing that people don't know is that these are going to be teams. Ooh, interesting. Maybe not. Now, if we go back into MMA's history, there was an organization called the IFL. With the IFL, it was kind of the same way, but you had household names. Now, it's not that you don't have household names, it's just the GFL better be starting to do something better with these fighters, because these fighters are not getting paid, and we need to get them paid. And also, where is your other female fighters? You only have 2. That does not make sense. And to me, that doesn't make sense, because you want to give opportunities to women, but what are you doing but sitting there on your butt and trying to make opportunities, but they're not working, aren't they? Oh, that's right, I'm right. But, what do I know, right? But I'm just saying, if you want to make that change for these fighters and stuff like that, do it. I don't see what's stopping you from doing that, because you see and hear opinions of other people. Ooh, big deal. You're gonna get that everywhere. But to find out who our other fighters are that just got signed to the organization, guys, Frank Mir, Andrei Arlovsky, what? Greg Hardy, Ali Thompson, Felipe Lins, like Stuart Austin, Tannen Boser. Oh God, guys, we got some good fighters and we got some mediocre fighters. Why do I say that? Because they suck or they're either good. I don't know. Watch them or not. But this will do really good for MMA in general, just because it gives you that time to watch these fighters, get to know them, get to learn more about them and see if they're good, see if they got potential, see if they have talent. Maybe not. Maybe they just suck and they're not that good. They need to get one fight so they can retire. Tony Ferguson. But, what do I know? It's my opinion. I'm on radio and you're not. So, with that, let's talk about these female fighters that are on in this division. We got a featherweight division, we got a bantamweight division, we got a flyweight, strawweight, and atomweight. Now, to start off our featherweight female division, oh, look at that. We got a PFL fighter, I think she was from. Evelyn Martins. And then we got Fernanda Gerson. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but if you want to correct me and I'm wrong, go ahead. Julia Budd, Julia Dorney, Lorraine Santos, Marisa Loach. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but can't perfect everything. But onto our bantamweight division, we got Alexa Connors, Bianca Demoni, Brittany Cloudy. Let's see. Fernanda Barbosa, Giselle Morea. I think I'm saying that right. Julia Chukwu. Ooh, fancy. Luz Vasquez. Penny. Yeah, I'm not reading that name. With that being said, we got a lot of fighters in this division, more than some of the other divisions. If you notice and you go on to the GFL's website, you're able to look at each division for the men and women. What you'll see is that maybe there's more fighters in one division, maybe there's not. But for this division, flyweight, we have Paige Van Zandt. Now, Paige Van Zandt, weren't you doing power slap? Oh, that sucks. But if a girl gotta make money, she gotta make money. But I guess that's on her, not us, guys. So with that being said, we talked about how they are doing a draft. And the draft is basically to put teams together. I don't know if there's going to be coaches with this. I hope there is. But because some of these fighters need mental help and physical help, because most of them are at the run and shouldn't even be fighting. Like, I don't understand. Some of you guys just need a therapist to talk to about your issues, because CTE is not working out for you, buddy. But what I just looked at is some of the other fighters that just signed with GFL. We got Alex Gustafsson, Vanderlei Silva, Luke Rockhold, Kevin Lee, Thiago Santos. What is going on, guys? We had household names that were making bank, making so much history and doing so much for this sport. And where they at? A B-class organization. Yes, I said it, and I'm not taking it back. If the owners want to talk to me, please shoot me a text, shoot a DM, shoot an email. I don't care. Go ahead. But now that I'm looking at some of these other fighters, I'm not so sure about this, because will it work? I don't know. Or will you just have another fighter that gets paid a lot but ends up with brain damage like Oscar De La Hoya did? Oh, shots fired. That's right. Oh, but we also have Jeremy Stevens, Marlon Moraes, and we have Greg Hardy. Now, if you know who Greg Hardy is, he is very powerful with his shots. He fought a lot of guys that are powerful, but also he ran through a lot of people. Yes, has he gotten knocked out? Probably. I think so. But he was also a former pro football player. Ooh, go him. That's great. For the Dallas Cowboys, apparently. Ooh, go him. Go you, I guess. But the main concern we have is a lot of organizations that come up that say they're going to pay their fighters more than a lot of companies do. It doesn't last that long. Do you know why? Because you need to get that money from somewhere. And sometimes the people that you get the money from don't want to give it to you. And yeah, that's your problem, not mine. Because I don't run the organization, but not my problem. On to our next song. And I'm sorry, guys. This was the last segment. And also, next week, do we have a special guest coming on the show? Maybe. I got something lined up for you guys. Maybe you jiu-jitsu fans will probably like it more than everybody. But I'm Sophia, and this was Combat Talk. And on to our last song, Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy.